he's getting really close. Whoa! He spun out. I don't know if he hit something.
Dangerous moves and close calls. A wild chase ends in Woodland Hills. A well-placed spike strip, though, brought tonight's pursuit to an end.
It started as a carjacking in Malibu, then ended up in the San Fernando Valley with both suspects bailing out. CBS 2's Jeff Nguyen live in Woodland Hills right now, where it ended.
Jeff and Pat, the bizarre chase ended at this corner where the female driver was arrested right by those trees. But witnesses say that the male suspect ran in this direction and tried to hide out in a parking garage.
Oh, look at that. Oh!
The chase went through winding roads near Calabasas. At one point, the Chevy Equinox went around a Tesla when LA County Sheriff's deputies laid a spike strip.
Going. Oh, he's going to go over went over the spike strips.
Not long after, the Equinox pulled over near Calabasas High School to let a female passenger out. The Sheriff's Department says the SUV was the subject of a carjacking and the woman may have been connected to the case.
Oh, there goes the rear.
Not long after that, the treads started breaking off the tires.
There it goes on the rim.
Without traction, the Chevy at one point spun out.
Oh! He spun out. I don't know if he hit something, though.
But it kept going. There was a series of dangerous moves.
Oh, wrong side of the road.
Soon after, we could see the wheels scraping the pavement at the intersection of Warner Ranch and Canoga in Woodland Hills, where the car chase came to an end. The male passenger bailed from the front seat right in front of Henry Martinez.
I saw the guy here, and I locked the door because I was scared.
The female driver didn't get far, and she seemed more focused on her phone than the trouble she was in when deputies arrested her. Cell phone video shows the man being let off in cuffs after deputies found him in a parking structure. This chase began after a traffic stop in which deputies detained a person as that female driver hit the gas. Tonight, investigators are trying to figure out how that carjacking plays into all of this. Reporting live in Woodland Hills, Jeff Nguyen, CBS 2 News.
The westbound 105 is back open tonight after a gasoline tanker and SUV crash near the Crenshaw exit this morning. Both drivers were killed. Thousands headed toward LAX were trapped for over 12 hours. At one point, a food truck opened to feed the stranded drivers. The Green Line was affected too, as power lines and train tracks were damaged in the fire.
I had to get off this bus, get on the next bus, then I had to catch 2 trains, so that took about 2 or 3 hours out of my day, man.
Officials are still using shuttle buses to help Green Line riders get between the line tonight.
Well, details right now emerging about accusations that Donald Trump fathered an illegitimate child.
A former Trump Tower doorman says he's now able to talk about what he claims was Trump's alleged relationship with an ex-housekeeper. CBS 2 political reporter Dave Ryan is here with this story. Dave.
We'll see. He hasn't talked yet, so consider this still a very developing story. The new development tonight, as reported by CNN First, is that a former doorman who worked for Donald Trump says he's now been cleared to speak about this alleged affair in the 1980s, which allegedly resulted in the birth of a child. Tonight, CNN is reporting a former World Trade Center doorman who said he has knowledge of an alleged affair Donald Trump had with an ex-housekeeper, which resulted in a child being born, is now able to talk about it. CNN says the attorney for the former doorman, Dino Sajudin, says the doorman has now been released from a contract with American Media, the parent company of the National Enquirer. The contract confirms that the doorman, Mr. Sajudin, was paid $30,000 to give his story to the Enquirer and remained silent about it thereafter. The alleged sexual affair and the birth of a child was alleged to have happened in the 1980s, but the accusations have not been proven by any news outlet, and the Trump Organization denied the claim in a statement to the Washington Post. Ronan Farrow reported the story this year for The New Yorker.
We didn't uncover any evidence that this was real. However, what we did uncover very firmly was source after source within AMI saying they paid this money. They then added a liquidated damages clause to this deal with this individual who had the information from supposedly within the company, saying he would have to pay $1 million if he ever breathed a word of this.
Now, in April, Sojuden told CNN he claims to have knowledge of this relationship Mr. Trump had with his former housekeeper that resulted in the child. At the time, American media called Sojuden's story not credible. And while Sojuden's attorney says he's been released from his hush money contract with American media, CNN has not gotten a response from AMI, which confirms that's the case. And once again, just to be clear, Sojuden's allegation that Trump fathered a child out of wedlock has not been independently confirmed by any of the outlets that have investigated the case. Pat, back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Dave. Now, Hurricane Lane has been downgraded to a tropical storm, but the Big Island is still being soaked with heavy rain. Authorities say too many people are still in the water and on the beaches.
That's right. The storm is moving so slowly that bands of rain continue to drench the Big Island. Lane is now lumbering directly towards Hawaii's most populated islands of Oahu and Maui.
The Big Island has seen the most rain. In some areas, seeing almost up to 3 feet of rain.
Well, let's get to Garth Kemp with the latest on the storm. Garth.
Yeah, Highway 19 over there has been having real problems on the west side of the Big Island. Right now, it is downgraded, winds at around 70 miles. Now, you'll get some gusts a little higher than that on Oahu, where, of course, you're up in some of those high-rise buildings. It'll pick up a little bit, would probably be about Category 1 winds as well. But right now, about 150 miles southwest of Honolulu, moving very slow right now. Sorry, we're just ingesting more new data coming into the area right now. So here's what we're looking at. We were waiting for that left-hand turn. It's still going to the north-northwest, but by early to mid-morning tomorrow, it should make a sharp left-hand turn and make its way off. But just as we told you yesterday, the main problem with this thing has always been the amount of rain. The winds have come down, but there's still a lot of rain yet to go on this, all on the dirty edge of the hurricane. It is being sheared apart. It didn't take long once it met the wind shear to start getting itself knocked down and just giving up its fight. If you wonder what that looks like, I'll show you what happened with that shear, plus our weather coming up in just a little bit. Back to you guys.
All right. Well, tense moments caught on LAPD body cams when officers say a suspect pulled a gun on them. They fired back. CBS 2's Rachel Kim shows us the video from Lake Balboa.
But he has the gun, and the gun case is in the stairwell.
LAPD officers' body-worn cameras were rolling on July 7th when this woman called for help, saying her son was drunk, suicidal, and left home with a gun. Surveillance video shows 28-year-old Christopher Terry walking in an alley with a gun in hand. He later sits against a wall. Officers talked with Terry on the phone and tried to get him to calm down and put the gun down.
Okay, I understand the light is irritating you, but we can't see the gun and we don't want you to touch the gun, okay? That's all we're worried about.
Terry told the officers the gun was on his left side, but the officers said they didn't see it.
Okay.
Then this.
Hey, he pointed.
Terry began shooting at the officers. Here, the LAPD says you can see the muzzle flash from his gun. The officers returned fire, and Terry was hit.
Stop. Don't move, man. Don't move. Stop, I don't see it. I don't see it. It's next to the cinder block wall. All right.
Terry was taken to the hospital to be treated and was later booked. A bullet hole was left in the fence in the direction of the officers.
No, I was like laying on the floor. I was scared because I didn't want no bullets coming through us.
Janet Brooks lives near the alley and heard all the shooting.
We started seeing the police coming from everywhere, and they said we came outside. They told us to go back in. It was a shooting.
Brooks and another neighbor we spoke with say they're glad the LAPD is releasing videos like this.
So they can catch them on camera, so they'll know what's going on, you know, and who's right and who's wrong.
When you got it on video, you've got a lot of evidence. It's good for people to see that these things happen.
Once the investigation is complete, the Civilian Board of Police Commissioners will look at the evidence and determine if the officers' tactics and use of force met their high standards. Reporting in Lake Balboa, Rachel Kim, CBS 2 News.
Senator John McCain has announced he is no longer receiving treatment for brain cancer. Arizona Republican was diagnosed with a deadly tumor last year. In December, he left the Capitol and then returned to his home for treatment. McCain family released a statement today saying John has surpassed expectations for his survival, but the progress of the disease and the inexorable advance of age render their verdict. After a lot of backlash, Verizon tonight is promising to help first responders dealing with the hurricane and wildfires. The company was accused of throttling or slowing down the cellular data of California firefighters during recent firefights. Now, that hurt crews' abilities to make life and death decisions. Now, Verizon said tonight It has removed all speed cap restrictions for first responders on the West Coast and in Hawaii.
Elon Musk announced tonight he will not take Tesla private. The CEO says he made the decision based on feedback from shareholders. Musk had set off confusion with a tweet a couple of weeks ago when he said he was considering taking the company private.
Well, they gave us champagne wishes and caviar dreams.
Still ahead, remembering the irreplaceable Robin Leach. Plus this.
A Dodgers fan still a little sore about the World Series played a joke today on Astros pitcher Justin Verlander. Coming up, we're going to show you this wild receipt from a lunch that Verlander had today and the massive bill.
Yeah, guys, this setup is really taking blackjack to the next level. Not only is it set up in a circle, but more side bets have more chances of hitting the jackpot.
Hey everybody, I'm Garth Kemp. Get ready for the weekend weather. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the hurricane that's all coming up.
And here's a look at the guests tonight on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.